Hi viewers, today I am going to share with you my favorite gambit or trap. With the help of this gambit, you can easily capture the opponent's queen in just 5 moves in the opening or beginning. Except for skilled players, those who do not know about this gambit are very easily victims of it. But let's learn that famous gambit of trapping the queen. Through the first part of top 5 chess openings, you must have known that the king's pawn opening is the most popular opening in chess, in response to which the opponent most often gives a5. In very few cases, d5 is seen. But if while playing with white pieces, you give the knight f3 without giving e4 as the first move, the black player will definitely not be able to play e5. If you play, the pawn will be captured, so he can play d5 to capture the center. Now e4, you might be thinking that black will capture the e4 pawn free. In this, the e4 pawn cannot be captured. And now the knight is attacked. So the knight has to be moved. Yes, this is how this gambit starts, which is called TennisonGambit. According to Gambit, you will now move the knight to g5 to save the knight. The e4 pawn is under attack. Black will definitely want to protect it. On the third move, black can support the pawn in various ways. For example, knight f6 with e4 pawn support plus development, bishop f5, bishop development plus support, queen d4 or queen d5 or f5. No matter which move black supports the pawn, he will be in danger. Let's see how to put black in danger one by one. First possibility, knight f6 variation. The black player usually moves knight f6 in this situation. In this case, you will offer black another pawn on the next move. d3, of course, black will capture another pawn via e cross d3. Now, the bishop crosses d3. Then the usual move for black will be h6. Only the fifth move through which he will lose his queen. If you want, you can stop the video and try to find a solution. Okay, if your next move is knight cross f7, then congratulations. You have learned the Tennison Gambit correctly. The knight attacks the queen and the rook at the same time. So the correct move is king cross f7. Now the bishop checks g6. Black's king cannot return to the e8 square. He has his own pawn on e7. So the best way to return the check is king cross g6. Now queen cross d8. In just the fifth move, the black player's queen is finished. Note that in this situation, it may seem that the black player has some chance to save the queen, but in reality, it is even more terrible. For example, the black player cannot put the queen on the d6 square. It can be captured directly. If the queen moves d5, the knight crosses h8. The queen crosses g2. The bishop checks g6. The queen has a view on the d7 and d8 squares. That is, there is no place to go. The bishop must be captured. Then, if the knight crosses g6, the queen moves to the d4 square, the bishop can be captured by checking b5. If the queen moves d7, the knight crosses h8. The knight c6. The bishop g6 checks. King d8. The knight f7 checks. King e8. The knight e5. The queen can be captured by checking discovery. However, there is no need for that. If the knight moves g5 after checking discovery, the knight can be checkmate on a 6. The knight cannot be captured by the queen. The queen is pinned by the white queen. The other options are for the students to try themselves. We do not show them to avoid complications. In short, the black player was defeated by moving h6 on the fifth move. Second possibility, bishop f5 variation. After moving bishop f5, knight c3, at the same time attacking e5 pawn plus knight development. If the black player does not support the pawn, it will lose. So the correct answer is knight f6, then queen e2. Attack e4 pawn again. Black can only support him by moving queen d4. Now the main plan, queen b5 check. The bishop on b7 and f5 is attacked at the same time, which cannot be prevented. If queen moves d7, queen crosses b7, there is a threat of capturing the rook. If black player wants to save the rook and moves queen c6, then bishop b5. The queen is pinned. That is, there is no way to save. The bishop can lose the queen by capturing or bishop d7. The bishop cross c6 and the queen c8 are checkmate. There's no room for the black king to move to. Besides, the viewer will understand for himself what to do with the other squares. It is important to note that before applying any gambit, it is essential to know all its variations, advantages, and disadvantages. Only then can the game be won by applying the gambit, because you can never say for sure how the opponent will defend. However, if you want, you can also give this gambit to black. This will be discussed in detail in the Budapest Gambit series. For now, you can try applying this gambit online or with friends. If you succeed or encounter any problems, you can comment. In the next stage, we will look at the f5 and queen variations, as well as discuss some problems and warnings of the Tennyson Gambit.